Oh, don't mind me. I'm just reading a fascinating article in my local newspaper. Hey guys, it's Sarah from Just My Typewriter, and something exciting happened. So in the month of December, I was actually featured on the front page of my local newspaper. Yep, that's me, not smiling, on the front of the newspaper with my typewriter collection. So in about November of 2021, early November, I put in for the local paper on a story about myself. I'm not a narcissist, I swear, I just think it's interesting. So I put into the local paper about a story they could do on my collection of typewriters and about you guys, the other collector community out there, because I don't think a lot of people know we exist. I did receive a phone call from a local reporter the next day, and she and I did a quick interview. I also gave her some names of some other collectors that she could contact to possibly write an article for the Mirror. And then a month went by and I heard nothing. And then I was on Instagram promoting one of my weekly videos. It was a Saturday morning, and I received a DM from somebody who said that they had saw me in the paper and was wondering if I could fix their typewriter. I'd completely forgotten that I had been interviewed for the newspaper, so I Googled it, and I found a really nice article written about me in my local paper. It talked about my collection. They also interviewed Lucas of Chicago Typewriter and a few other people as well, including somebody who works for the Early Typewriter Collectors magazine, which you should be subscribed to. It's very interesting and awesome. And I was just really excited to be in the paper. And I thought that would be the end of it. Oh, what a cool story in the back of the paper about a girl who collects typewriters. So I went to go buy a physical copy for my mom. And I went into the grocery store and saw my face on hundreds of newspapers stacked in the grocery store on the front page. So not only was I in the paper, I was front and center above the fold of the newspaper, which meant that a lot more people had access to my typewriter story and knew that I collected typewriters than I intended. And for the next few days, I received request after request after request of locals trying to get me to buy their typewriters or to find homes for their very large typewriters. And it had the opposite effect of what I was hoping the paper would have. I was kind of hoping to sell a few more typewriters. It was December, so I was hoping people would want them for Christmas gifts. I had a few on the work table that I had just finished and was ready to kind of pass on to their next homes. Instead, I ended up with 2 new typewriters in my collection. So it started with that woman asking me to fix her typewriter, and then the next comment I got was on my Facebook post. Someone who was friends of a friend saw my Facebook post of where I posted the digital article and said, "Hey, I have a 1950 Smith Corona typewriter. Are you interested? Please message me." So I did message this lovely lady, and she gave me her phone number, and I did call her that Saturday afternoon, and she said, "Hey, I was the piano tuner's wife, and I have his old typewriter. I've tried selling it in the newspaper several times, and no one seems interested. Would you like to take a look at it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be there Monday morning at 10 o'clock. So I was there at Monday morning, 10 o'clock, and here's what happened. I'm parked at a very, steep angle on a hill next to a graveyard. So hopefully this goes okay and I don't end up in the graveyard. So I stopped at Aldi to buy some peppermint mocha creamer because I've never been to Aldi before, but this is the typewriter I got, and I'm really excited because it looks like it's in perfect condition with just a little bit of cleaning necessary. But this is a nice little 5 series clipper, which is what I thought it would be. It just needs some ribbon spools and a little bit of a clean, but it looks like it's in really good condition, and it comes with some typing paper and some touch typing. So I'm really excited about this. So this is a beautiful 1950s Smith Corona clipper. In fact, I have right here, it is a 1955 5C Smith Corona clipper. So this would have been in that 5 series line that Smith Corona had in the 1950s. The clipper was the lower end model of their 5 series. They also had the Sterling, the Silent, the Super Silent. Clipper was like the bottom tier of that, but it was a really great Smith Corona typewriter from the 1950s. People really like collecting these, but I already have one in my collection that I got when I was on a road trip in Harrisburg, and I brought it home by bus. So this was like a double that I had brought home to add to my collection. I did decide to name it Copeland after Aaron Copeland because it belonged to a piano tuner who was local in the area, and I thought the musical connection was nice there, and I like the double C's Copeland clipper. It's a whole thing. After I received that comment on my Facebook post, I then received a random DM from a lady in Altoona, which is the town next to me, about a console portable typewriter. Now, I've never had a console typewriter. Unlike the Smith Coronas, I'm very unfamiliar with this brand. So I was really stoked about it. And she said, I can meet you in 30 minutes in the parking lot of this grocery store. So I hopped in my car and went. Okay, so I'm freaking out and I'm doing some extra work on my Buying a Bad Typewriter series. I just filmed the finale this week. I just edited it and I'm uploading it right now. So hopefully that goes okay. But this morning I was in the newspaper on the front page. That's me not smiling with my collection. About my typewriter collection, and I have received 3 separate messages, all within a couple of hours of each other, offering to sell me typewriters, and I just can't say no. So I'm literally right now leaving to go meet somebody in a parking lot somewhere to maybe look at a console typewriter. I'm freaking out. Like, this is very exciting. And now the typewriters are just coming to me instead of me going to the antique stores to find them. Even Diamond's excited. You can hear her. So let's go do that. Oh my god. Realized I have another typewriter in my car as I'm on the way to pick up another typewriter. This is becoming a problem. Oh my god, I just met the nicest lady. She was trying to figure out how to contact me and found me on Facebook. But I just bought this typewriter for $15. You can't beat that. And it's in okay condition. It could use a little bit of cleaning and the case needs some repair, but I'm thrilled. And that was like the quickest and easiest pickup ever. And she said she was just so excited that there was somebody out there who was saving them because she didn't know what to do with it. So now I'm going to take it home. This is crazy. So as you can see, this is a beautiful, cute little gray ultra portable console. Now this is a model 233 from 1963, and the serial numbers on the console typewriters are a little bit different than other typewriters, and the serial database doesn't have a ton of information specifically on console typewriters, especially this model, but the first number of a console typewriter serial number is actually the end year that that machine was made, and most of these console 233s were made in 1960s, so I got the first number of my serial number as 3, so it's in 1963, and then the next 3 numbers or 4 numbers are the name of the model. So mine is 3233. So it is a model 233 from 1963. Try saying that 5 times fast. So this typewriter is actually also in really great condition. There were no repairs I had to make on this machine. The case is a little damaged. Both of the zippers on the front are broken, so I do have to repair that. But I did just give both of these machines a quick clean and they seem to work pretty well. What I find really fascinating about this console typewriter is that it's from another country, it's from Czechoslovakia, and the ribbon arm on this thing is super fascinating. So it has an arm on one side of the ribbon vibrator that lifts up the ribbon and it keeps it all at an angle instead of like a straight-on ribbon vibrator like you would have on the Smith Corona, and I find that really interesting. It also makes it super compact. This typewriter is really shallow and super wide, which is very interesting to me. It just looks so different from anything else in my collection. Again, the console brand is from Czechoslovakia. And I did decide to name it something appropriate, so I did Google a bunch of words in Czech to see if I could find one that sounded cool. And I found this word kava, which means coffee in the language of Czech. So that's probably wrong because Google lies all the time and I probably pronounced it wrong, but that is the name of this typewriter. I named it Kava after coffee. So I'm really excited to have both of these typewriters in my collection, and these were not the only ones I was contacted about. In fact, a few other people found other ways to contact me about their typewriters. So I received a random email request from my website, which we all forgot I had, including myself, about somebody trying to sell their Remington Standard 7. I do not have any space for a typewriter this large, but I did try to help this person out and find them some other buyers in the collector community, so I did post it on a few other sites. And then, as I was checking my work email for the university that I go to and work for, I got a message from the president's office that somebody had contacted the president's office of my university asking for my contact information. So I did email this person back. It turns out they have a typewriter and they're from Alabama. They used to live in Altoona and then they moved to Alabama and they wanted some more information on their typewriter. So I was able to direct them in some places where they might be able to get more info on their pre-1920s typewriter and hopefully help them out a little bit. And I did find them a repair tech, so hopefully that went okay. And then the most interesting one of all, at least to me, was that I received a message from the woman who wrote the article with a random phone number, and she said that this guy had called the newspaper trying to get my number so that he could ask me some questions about his very odd typewriter. And the paper doesn't give out personal contact information, so I did decide to call this guy back. And he was the most interesting 80-year-old I've ever met. He had an Underwood Noiseless 6, and he was just looking for some more information on it and to see if anybody would be interested in it. So I asked him to send me some photos so I could post them on the collectors group. And he went into a very long speech about how he doesn't trust technology, he doesn't have a computer, and he refuses to get a cell phone. And he's lived 80 years and he will never have a cell phone. So just use your imagination for what this typewriter looks like. I did post it on a few other collectors groups to see if there was any interest, and I'm still working on that for him. But he was very interesting. He told me I shouldn't call him, he'll call me the next time, and he promises he's not a creep just trying to get my phone number. I appreciate the honesty. I'm really excited to have these two machines in my collection. I really think that this console's an interesting typewriter. I've never seen anything like it before. I did do a type test of both of these typewriters after I cleaned them, so here's a little bit of footage of that. I did notice a few things about the feel of these typewriters. Having another clipper in my collection, I did find this one to be a little bit choppier than the other clipper I have, which is from the early 60s, so it's a little bit of a later model of the same design. The keys on this one are green, and the keys on my other clipper are cream, and I kind of like that look better. And I also noticed for some reason the lowercase a on this typewriter consistently types higher than any other letter. I've cleaned it, I've tried fixing it, I don't know what it is. It just seems to be a little bit wonky. And then on the console typewriter, I found that the key design of this one was very strange. They're super square, and the model before this, the 232, had really rounder keys. So the square keys of this I find get stuck. It's a little bit hard to type on, but I am determined to make this typewriter work for me because I just think it's so cool looking. And it's from another country, and I don't have anything like it. I've never seen anything like it, and I don't feel like we'll get many of those in central Pennsylvania. So that was my adventure, getting 2 new typewriters to add to my collection and helping a few other people also find homes for theirs. If you're interested in more typewriter content, I have more videos on this YouTube channel, and I also have an Instagram at just.my.typewriter. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I want to remind you that you're just my typewriter.